LiSEC construct the world of glass processing and spark a firework of all-round solutions. The perfect interaction of machine, software and service enables us to achieve an amazing overall performance. It's no coincidence that an insulating glass unit gets produced every 16 seconds. You could almost say flat glass processing is our thing. We have all-in-one solutions and are the perfect one-stop shop for you. That means, if we're asked, our project management will plan the factory of the future, create ideal process chains, and is always available with the entire LiSEC know-how. I always like to call it the LiSEC all-in-one carefree package. Thanks to our tailor-made software solutions such as LiSEC, our online service and the worldwide network of service and sales offices, our team is the first to say, we are ready to rumble. Every glass sheet knows its way, and every machine is part of the whole process. You want the future, you want LiSEC.
Hello and welcome to our panel discussion today here at the LiSEC production site in Seitenstetten, Austria. We are talking today with the management board of LiSEC, and we are talking about the latest information about strategic goals. We are talking about personal affairs and about product development. Therefore, I'm very happy to welcome the management board of LiSEC, and let me introduce you my panel partners today, which is Gottfried Brunbauer, CEO of LiSEC, Oliver Pichler, CFO. We have Mr. Gren, responsible for sales. We have Mr. Haferschel for service, and also Mr. McRae, product management. So we are very excited to hear from you some insights today, as we have our virtual campus all-in-one solutions. And let me start with the CEO, as I have you on the board here today. And you took over responsibility in 2018. Can you tell us a little brief, did something change in the meantime, and do you have any strategic priorities set compared to before you took over in 2018?
Yeah, of course, there have been a lot of changes since 2018. Since I took over the function of the CEO, the main things were to focus on streamlining the organization and reducing the complexity of the organization to increase speed, to increase flexibility and transparency of the organization. Therefore, we have integrated several functions on the product side, on the engineering side, also on the sales side. And one important step was to really reintegrate the software business with the machinery business to really be able to provide integrated solutions for our customers. If you look on the strategy, the main things we are focusing on are, on the one hand, to strengthen our position in our core segment, the high quality integrated automated solutions on the one hand. On the other hand, of course, to step by step extend our accessible market segment into several directions. And thirdly, also to address additional market segments which are close to our core products and close to our core competencies.
Our talk today is part of a great virtual show called All-in-One Solutions. It's a campus with a lot of information. It's entertaining, it's informative. Can you tell us, why did LiSEC decide to do such a virtual fair this year?
Well, during the Corona lockdown in April, we already expected that the lockdown and the travel and health restrictions would continue also into autumn or until the end of the year. So we wanted to really, nevertheless, without also a GlassTec possibly being cancelled, to have a platform where we can meet our clients, where we can show them our new products and developments and our services. And secondly, the second reason was that our machines and our products are becoming more digital all along, and so the virtual campus was the logical extension to also have a more digital and virtual offering in this area to meet our clients in new settings, and I think that was the reason why we've introduced and are now showing this LiSEC virtual campus.
So we have this title, All-in-One Solutions. Mr. Brumbauer, the wording All-in-One Solutions is increasingly communicated connection with LiSEC and focus of this fair. Can you tell us a bit more about what means All-in-One Solutions for LiSEC and for your customers?
There are some of our competitors also claiming all-in-one solutions, but nevertheless, if you look back the recent years and the recent decade, we can show a lot of successful integrated projects where all the solutions are coming from one hand, which means all the machinery along the process chain on the one hand, and also the necessary software to get the orders processed and to get the production planned and to get all the machinery controlled. And that's what from our standing is all-in-one solutions, to really have all the solutions along the process chain of our customers out of one hand, fully integrated and optimally coordinated solutions, really working hand in hand.
So do you think it's a question of experience, or Mr. Fichtler, is it that you do more investments? Do you invest more in product development and all these things? Is this what separates you from your competitors, claiming also on solution provider and everything?
Well, I think we cover a very wide range of different products, like Clemens Mackerei being responsible for product management. We have product management and engineering in all different product areas. And secondly, we are the only who have a wide product range like this, and we also have our internal software. So we are also a software developer and not only a machine builder. And I think that combination sets us apart and is really the essence of being this provider of an all-in-one solution.
So let's stick with all-in-one solutions. Mr. Gren, LiSEC is known for producing machines with an exceptional long service life. So what do you offer for your customers who already own somewhat of an older machine, let's say?
Yeah, we at LiSEC, we have, from our point of view, a big advantage. We have a big installed base worldwide, and we can offer for our customers products like our long life to extend the lifetime of the equipment. And these long life products are based on detailed analysis of the currently installed machine and NC control as well as software. And we provide customized upgrades for our clients so that the machines who are important to run and to continuously produce are not shutting down during high seasons and so on and so forth. Because this mostly costs more than doing a long life upgrade.
So we noticed that economic efficiency was and is a main aspect. But how do you respond to market demands for cheaper but still high quality LiSEC machines?
Well, for that we already started probably a decade ago to refurbish second-hand machines. So we have a big buy-in market due to the huge installed base of LiSEC equipment worldwide. And we have actually professionalized that within a separate company. The company is a daughter company called Glastronic. And this company actually buys in older equipment and refurbishes it and then brings it back to the marketplace, for example, for customers who are in demand to get a high quality machine on the one hand, but who have not the ability to invest in new equipment at this moment in time.
Mm. So, Mr. Hafenscher, we already mentioned the aspect of service. I want to go into that a little bit more with you now. LiSEC Service presents two new services at the virtual exhibition. It's LiSERV and LiSEC. Can you give us a brief explanation what these two buzzwords will mean to us?
Yeah, actually the LiSERV is not really a new thing. It's actually the successor of the LPC. But we try to focus again more on the customer with the LiSERV. We generated 3 flat rates for the customers to help him 24/7 all over the year. And with these 3 flat rates, which is 290 for up to 10 machineries, 790 up to 20 machineries, and from 20 on you have to pay 990 a month. But then you get immediate help via telephone and even remote. And the LiSEC, yeah, thank you for asking that. That's my latest pet project, yeah, that's my baby. Actually, it is like this, that the former employee got self-employed, and a close, small airport is right next to LiSEC, and I was thinking, why not doing something, yeah? And then I generated this fastest delivery service all over the world with the helicopter to be on site. And to be honest, is there anything cooler to get the part within 3 hours, including the technicians, and even built up in time the same day? I'm really happy to provide this to the customers.
Yeah, the helicopter is fascinating. When I heard it the first time, I wouldn't believe it, but
Yeah.
as you tell me now, it's real, so I will believe it. And we can see it also on the virtual campus, right? We have this room of services, and there we have a globe turning where we can see all the different production sites, service sites, and we have also one part for your helicopter. So,
Absolutely.
Just go there if you go to the campus. Choose the service room. Okay. So, but beyond spare parts and excellent customer support, I read you offer the option of a factory commissioning. Can you tell me what is the advantage for customers of this factory commissioning?
Firstly, we have to distinguish between the functional test and the factory testing. The functional test is something which is a mandatory part since decades in our company. This is actually to check the machinery itself, yeah. And the functional, the factory test is actually to put all together and to run the specification of the customer in-house to make sure that once we are on site, we install it and run from the first day, I would say.
And I've in this section, I have one last question. It's, I think I know the answer, but would you say the importance of service increased within the last 1-2 years?
Absolutely. It is like the closer the sea, the more the wind. So the better the service, the easier to sell new products. So at the end of the day, just rock the customer. This is my motto.
So, Mr. Grant, if we talk about service becoming more and more important, we also need to talk about products and market growth and market opportunities. Where do you see growth markets in the future, and what products do you offer for this?
Well, product growth, market growth is an important topic for every company, especially today within the Corona crisis. Where I see growth possibilities for us, and where we see that coming in gradually over the last couple of years, and it's getting more and more, are the fully automatic plants for highly developed markets, for markets who are very cost sensitive today, where customers want to increase their output and optimize their labor costs, for example. So this is a big market for us, and this is also showing the motto of this virtual show, all-in-one solutions. The other part is, of course, we are also working in markets who are emerging markets. If you look towards Southeast Asia, Africa, India, Latin America as such, there we are represented by either agents or our own subsidiaries, and we really focus on these markets to start with possible clients to work on the basic machinery, basic cutting lines, basic insulating glass lines, and develop the business together with our customers. So these are the two major development areas for us within LiSEC.
So that's a perfect transition to research and development, Mr. McRae. What is LiSEC doing in terms of research and development, which is the field that you are responsible for?
So research sounds, in my opinion, a little bit scientific. And to be honest, LiSEC and the engineers at LiSEC are no scientists. So we think we are a good mix of good engineers. We are a mix of experienced technicians, and that's our point of view, especially. What we want to know is to understand, to really analyze the process of our customers, and then as a result the process engineering of our machines and the end products of our customers. It's necessary to understand what happens in the product, for example, what happens in the pane during the hardening, what happens with the material, with the sealant during the application. It's really for us important to understand what happens in the machine, and not to see the movement, if it's left or right, or a stop or something like this. We want to know what happens in the machine, and we want to analyze this. So our aim is to see the dosing of our materials, for example. We have a lot of applications with fluids like butane or second sealing materials, and we don't want to applicate it, we want to dose it. We want to know exactly what happens. And that's our goal in the research and development. That's our goal to develop new machines, to be precise and to guarantee good quality of the end product of our customer.
So you are very focused. Does it mean is all-in-one solutions also an issue, an aspect for you, or do you just focus on very special technicians and new developments, let's say in process engineering, in softwares, in all these things, or do you have also this view of all-in-one solutions?
I think it's both. We have the focus, we have the view on the process engineering. First of all, it's clear. The next step is the process at the customer. Doesn't matter if it's a small business unit, it's a mid-sized business, or it's an entire factory. You have to understand what happens inside, and you can add all machines together to an entire production site if you know the really process inside. So we can provide the machine to the local small customer up to the entire production.
So how important is the customer in your process in developing new products? Is it that LiSEC comes up with a new idea and you go to the market and showing that's our new products, or is it just support by the clients and customers who come to you, or are you in discussions together, or what kind of the process?
So to be honest, we learn a lot from the experience of our customers. That's clear. The customers are doing that we want to do. We all say together, we are best in class processing, but our customers are best in class processing. So we can copy this knowledge, we can copy this experience for us, and to integrate this knowledge in our machines.
One part of this knowledge is automation, of course, Mr. Kren. If we talk about automation, the level of automation in machines is increasing and user friendliness is improving. So can you tell us in how far, from your point of view, and what role will skilled workers, as we see here all over the campus, will play in flash processing in the future?
Well, first of all, I think we all have the issue to find skilled workers today. Yeah, let's say the situation has changed completely. Therefore, it is imperative for LiSEC to work on a daily basis on improved user interfaces for our software, as well as for our panels on the machines. This is number one. Number two, of course, we offer training. Yeah, training on the customer's demand, on the customer's machine. And we have developed now 3 new strategies how to do training. The one training is directly on the machine which we are currently building for a customer. So in the end phase, before the internal final commissioning, the customer can arrive in our site here in Seitenstetten to get training on his machine, number one. Number two is the option that we do training in our glass forum, so our own glass processing plant, where we have a fully automatic setup, and our customers can send their personnel, which we can train there. And the third option is a team of experts who can go on site, visit our customers, and do the training with their personnel on site. So at the end of the day, it depends on the type of the machine. Is it something completely new the customer has and his users have never seen before, or is it a retraining on existing equipment, because it could also be maintenance training and those kind of things, just to make sure that the downtime of the machine is as short as possible, because also preventive maintenance and the necessary training for that is important to have and to do.
I think if I just add one more thing, I think it's important also for our customers not to focus only on the capital expenditure at the beginning, but also really also in the investment in the human resource. Yeah, because like Christian has explained, that is one of the most critical things during the lifetime of a plant, to really have the skilled workers and to have the trained personnel to really be able to operate the machines in a very efficient manner.
So at the end of the day, it is really the user interface and the constant improvement of the usability, and the other thing, of course, the necessary training for the operators and maintenance teams.
And coming back to the aspect of automation, also in the product development, you present on the campus, you show some robotics, you have these multi-axis robots. Do you think it's expected that more and more robotics will be used in the glass processing?
Partly, for sure. Yeah. There are some production movements which are especially tailored for robotics, like the loading, unloading and uploading from IG lines, from processing lines and so on. For the normal movement of axes, like the CNC, I don't, it's quite suitable. But for the movement, for example, the hardening bed loading, it's a very easy way to implement reduction of personnel costs and in the movement for the heavy weights by the personnel themselves.
But there's not only automation, there's also another buzzword which is digitalization. Can you explain to me what opportunities you see and what is the added value for your customers of such an increasing digitalization?
4.0, it's a really buzzword. But for me and for us at LiSEC, it's more interesting to have the product within. So that's the reason why we have developed a product called Quality Path. And the Quality Path is nothing else than the bidirectional transfer of data. So we have a lot of data coming from the planning to the machine. And what's new is that the machine talks with the planning back. So we can have all the information from the machine, like let's take a IG line, like the temperature of the water, like the temperature of the application material, and so on. And we can give these information back to the quality path system. So for each pane, for each batch, for each order, we can control and we can document all parameters of the production, and so we can document especially the quality. If you take another example like the desiccant filling of our spaces, we can now exactly define how much material have to be inside, and we can control it during the production process. And the quality path later on allows us to control if all quality parameters are right, and the customer can control it with a small button press, and you know what happens in the production. Second point is a PCC, a production control center. We take a normal production. So a production manager, the brand manager, have to move a lot inside the factory to control all processes, to be really informed what happens inside. You have to know, are the spacers ready? Are the glasses cut? Which batch is ready? So we have implemented a control panel system to give all this information about the production status to the planning board, to the plant manager, and for the man at the machine itself. So we have a perfect overview what happens in the site, and we can do the right things to improve the efficiency. And the next step will be to take algorithms to make this process quite automatically. So the decision what happens in the factory will move from the employee to the computer. And the next step is not so far from us. I think within 2 years, nearly fully automatically production with the feedback from the machines is realistic.
Interesting. Mr. Hartschir, what are your options in service? What's the digitalization concerning your service? Is this similar to what Mr. McRae said in the product development? Is it also very important for you in the service, or do you have other options concerning digitalization?
Firstly, I have to say thanks God, LiSEC is very open-minded, and I would say, even me, I'm a fan of latest technology anyhow. And yes, it is very important. We are now focusing on the IoT, rather the asset check, which is a big brother in a positive way. So, as for an example, you probably know the turbines on the aeroplane from Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce exactly knows if a blade in the turbines are damaged somehow, yeah. And this is actually what we are doing now with our IoT system. So we check our machineries, we see if, for example, an engine has an higher current consumption and so on. So we are really checking the machineries, and if we see that something is going wrong, we can do some pre-maintenance or whatever, or inform the customer to do something. So at the end of the day, yes, we are focused.
So we learned about the product development, we learned about digital options in service with the helicopter in addition.
Thank you.
And of course, Mr. Pichler, I have to ask you some things about your fiscal year. The business year 2019 was closed positively. What can you tell us if you give us an outlook for the current business year? And in addition, can you tell us something? Did the COVID-19 affect your business year?
Well, I think COVID-19 affected every company in a positive or negative way. I think we were similarly affected like many other machine builders in the industry. We had to experience a downturn in our order intake. But I think we reacted very fast. We have made very determined measures, and which we have implemented also with all determination over the last few months. And I think in that respect, I think we came away with nothing but a black eye. I think we've also built upon our solid financial position, and we have now October, and I think it looks like as if we can also finish off the year with a positive result. So overall, COVID-19 has obviously had its impact, but I think we've been able to manage well and contain the negative effects.
Mr. Brumbaum, what do you feel, or do you feel that LiSEC changed during the last month of COVID-19? Is there something different compared to the beginning of the year when we were all starting hopefully in this new business year?
On the one hand, from my point of view, LiSEC did not really change in its personality and what the company is about, but of course we have learned a lot with COVID-19. On the one hand, by these worldwide travel restrictions, of course we have learned to better make use of our resources worldwide in the regions, in the several countries, to nevertheless support our customers as good as possible. And on the other hand, of course we have learned to handle and to work with all these new digital and virtual ways to communicate also within the company and to our customers as well, and to keep up the support for our customers by this way. And of course also the acceptance on the customer side has increased for these new technologies and for virtual communication. But basically LiSEC still was it as it was.
Okay. So you don't think there are any actions you have taken that will last much longer than COVID-19? Because, as you say, we stay LiSEC as we were before, and the all-in-one solutions idea will last. A very good product development will last. Successful sales will last. So I don't see what big changes you need in your company.
No, the essence of the company will last, of course, but we have also heard from Oliver Pichler, due to the economic impact of COVID-19, we also needed to take measures to further optimize our structure and things like that, to, as I mentioned at the beginning, to further increase flexibility, transparency, efficiency and things like that, and that will last, of course. And also to make use of these digital and virtual communication tools, of course, will last in the future for a certain amount. And also internally we have learned about, I would say, different ways how to work, like shared desk models and things like that, and that also are changes that will last for the future in a certain amount.
And when I look at you, Mr. Kring, being part of the sales team or the head of the sales team, that means normally to me traveling a lot, going to fairs, visiting customers. For you, the COVID-19 must be a catastrophe. Yeah. How did the communication with your customers change? How do you communicate? Is it just Teams, Zoom, Skype, whatever it is, or do you call them? Are you in good contact with your customers, and what do they reflect to you?
Well, I think the first couple of weeks gave us some headaches during the first shutdown here in Austria. But we started immediately to implement all available features like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and so on and so forth to be in touch again. And of course, we think we are in steady and constant communication with our clients, with our customers, and it is now the new established way of communication, at least for now. But we have learned a lot, and I think also our clients, our customers out there have changed their mindset when it comes down to personal meetings. On the one hand, it is important that we meet from time to time personally. On the other hand, it is also important to protect your company, your environment, and reduce the social contacts, let's say. So what we have learned for sure is that not every meeting must be from person to person, and that will last for sure. That of course also reduces the amount of traveling we have to do compared to what we have done in the past. But if there is a big and final decision made, very often it is still necessary and even imperative to meet in person, because nobody will invest in something where they haven't seen the management, where they haven't seen the company who is providing the equipment, and so on and so forth. So I think this will never change when it comes down to the final decisions made.
So, leaving the COVID issue, and let's have a look into the future. Now the strategic direction, Mr. Rumbauer. There are rumors in the industry that the branch structure of LiSEC will change. Is this true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is true.
And can you tell us something about it, or is it just...
As it has already been mentioned during this discussion sometime, on the one hand we have a very wide range of solutions when it comes to the machinery side and at the software side as well. And we are covering the world market. And of course, if there are very small branches in some countries, it's really difficult to cover all this wide range of solutions with the necessary resources, and especially with the necessary know-how and with the necessary experience. Of course, we are providing any support required from Austria, but all over the world we have time shift up to 12 hours on the one hand, and of course there are language barriers sometimes as well. Therefore, we need to strengthen our resources in the regions, and we need to improve reactivity towards our customers. And therefore, we have divided the world in several regions, and in each of these regions, we will develop one of the branch to a focus branch or to a hub, as we call it internally, and we will focus resources there, and we will focus know-how there and experience there to, and also these hubs will have additional responsibility when it comes to the coordination of the resources within the region, and therefore we will further increase and improve the reactivity in the or locally worldwide to further improve the support of our customers. So there will be changes, and the change will be to implement a hierarchical structure in our branches to be more present in the regions and to be closer to our customers there.
Oliver Picher, at the beginning of our talk today, we were talking about investments. Before the crisis, I know that you planned to build a new building over here at the production site in Seitenstetten. But within these days, you have to act very carefully and you have to invest very carefully. Can you give us a brief outlook on what could be the next investment in the next months?
Well, I think like many others, we also have reduced investment plans. I think this is the most logical thing to do during a crisis like COVID-19. But we haven't stopped those investments. We might revisit them in the one form or the other. On the other hand, like Gottfried Brunbach has already explained, the COVID-19 has changed also the way of working together, has allowed us to work more with home office, with shared desk concepts, and one of the main investments was a new headquarter here along the production site, where we would have moved all the human resources from Haus Menning, which is about 20 minutes away from here, to Seitenstetten, to concentrate really all human resources in Austria here in Seitenstetten. This we will still continue to do, but we have now with these different concepts already managed to take this a step further, and we will merge the human resources by the end of this year, and the investment into new headquarters we will look into more detail next year. The same with new production facilities like a new painting line, which will come into 21-22. So we will still continue to invest, but have now been able to shift some things already a bit earlier.
And also in the future, perhaps very far in the future, is where you can show your products in future. Normally you have the fairs. What do you think what will be within the next months or even the whole 2021 if we have no fairs, if we have no live shows? What is your plan to present your products, to present your all-in-one solutions from software, service, product development?
Yeah, for the moment, we expect that there will be fairs again in 2021, but we will see. As all people in the business know, there is a LiSEC scheduled for 2021, which is the alternative for the cancelled LiSEC in 2020. And of course we will be present there if it takes place, and We will show several, or we will exhibit several interesting innovations and new products there. But of course, due to the economic situation in general and due to the uncertainties, maybe with a little bit smaller booth than we did during the recent fairs. That's the one thing, and of course, and we also have planned to attend the China Glass in spring. We have planned to attend the Glass Build America in late summer, and we have also planned to attend the Vitrum in Milan in Italy, and of course the GlassTech, which I have mentioned before. And then let's see how things will continue. But nevertheless, if to the COVID situation, maybe the one or the other fair might not take place, so we have learned how to organize a virtual fair as well, and maybe this also could be an alternative for next year.
And at the end, next year you will have a highlight in the company's history. So, of course, I have the question, celebration or not?
Yeah, of course. There will be a celebration for our 60th anniversary of LiSEC, which was founded in 1961. It will take place in fall, and we will find an adequate way to celebrate this anniversary.
Okay, so we stay tuned. So thank you all very much for being here today, for sharing all these very interesting insights with us. Strategic goals, we learned a lot about new products, we learned a lot about innovative services, and about what's going on in the sales in times of COVID-19. So thank you very, very much to the management board, and I say thank you very much for watching today. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot.